Hi guys, welcome to another video on Journey to Greatness. This is the channel where I'm going to be telling you guys everything like it is. I am going to open myself up on this channel and reveal the real me. I'm going to put all the things that I delete from our family channel onto this channel. And today's video is going to be a big one. Recently, we got to spend 2 amazing days at the Royal Winter Fair in Toronto, Ontario. It was amazing. Shopping galore. It was incredible. We got to meet so many fans. We got to buy all the stuff that we've been looking for. We went high-end saddle shopping. We went boot shopping. We did all the shopping and it was amazing. There are videos of us doing all of those things on my family channel, day-by-day vlogs. But there was an underside to the equine community that I did not show you guys, that I did not tell you guys about. And today I'm going to tell you guys all about the underside of the high-end equine community. So basically, we did a lot of shopping. We needed to buy a saddle, but one big, huge thing kept popping up in our shopping trip. So I'm going to tell you 3 things that happened to us while we were shopping. I'm going to start with the least thing to the greatest thing that happened to us. Some of the things that happened I'm not so proud of, and I'm going to share all of the tea with you guys. Up to this point, our experience in the equine community has been pretty sheltered and pretty great. Our coaches really helped to teach us how to treat each other, how to be an upstanding equestrian. They are incredible role models to us, and our barns where we go are really well mannered. Everybody's expected to treat each other respectfully. It doesn't matter the level of riding that you're at. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter who you are. And I believe that, you guys. I lived the majority of my adult life believing that we are all equal, from the smallest, youngest rider to the most advanced rider, from the person struggling so much financially to the person with the most money in the world. I believe we're all equal. I believe we all deserve the same amount of respect and kindness in the world. I truly believe that, and I live that. I live my life like that daily. Anyway, so we were going along at the Royal Winter Fair, enjoying all the sights, all the sounds, all the food. The food was incredible. And we ended up going into this one high-end store. Gabby loved it. Kaylee loved it. Like, this was a high-end store, and it was amazing. And it was one of the first experiences that I had that there was an underside to the equine community. So basically, it was a super high-end store, and we were allowed and had kids with us, and we were looking at boots there, we were looking at saddles there, we were looking at so many things. And we picked up a pair of boots, and Gabby was like, I love these. And I was like, I love them too. And the lady came over, and she was very classy woman, dressed up beautifully, and I said to her, you know, how much are these boots? And she told me, and then she took them out of my hands and put them back down. And then I kind of was like, wow, that's odd, but whatever, like, who cares? I didn't really take much notice of it. But then she followed us around the whole entire store, which, I mean, every good salesperson does. But she kept staring at us and glaring at us, and I just had this weird inkling that she did not feel we should be in that store, or that we weren't worthy of purchasing the stuff, the high-end stuff that they sold there. And it was nothing overt. It was just something minor, and I didn't pay much attention to it, and I didn't say anything, and we just left. Because, I mean, honestly, it's such a minor thing. It did not really play any part in my life. So who cares? If that's how she felt, that's fine. I don't buy into that. I believe that we should buy whatever we want. So we moved on. No offense taken. So we moved on, and through our travels, we ended up in a saddle store. And you guys know the saddle buying has been such a journey and such a struggle for us. So we got to this amazing saddle store, and Sophie fell in love. I did not video any of these brands. I'm not going to talk about the brands. I'm not going to trash any company in this video. I'm just going to share our experiences. So please don't try and guess the name of the company, because I cut it all out of our other videos, of our shopping videos. So we were at this brand, and Sophie was like, I love this saddle. And yeah, there's a dog on my lap. She wants to be in the video too. So we started looking at saddles, and she started trying some of the saddles, and the sales associate came over and started to talk to us about the saddles. And I had started to feel the same kind of feeling that I had from the other woman. And usually I don't notice that kind of stuff because it doesn't bother me. And other people's problems don't bother me, typically. So I started to notice the same kind of emotion, the same kind of feeling from this woman. And then we started talking. And I said, she said, buying an expensive saddle like this for a child is kind of a waste of money. And I said, I agree completely. It's just really difficult for us because we can't find a saddle fitter in our area, and he needs a saddle and she needs a saddle. We've done so much studying and trying to figure out how to get a saddle for him. And so if this is the route we have to take, that's okay. And I said, and buying a high-end saddle, it doesn't depreciate and it doesn't lose the same kind of value as a lower-end saddle. Like, if it doesn't work out in a year, we could sell it and still recoup some of our money. And she said, not really. And I was like, okay, like maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm misled. And then, so we went on, and she did actually try and fit Sophie for the saddle. And she said, I would probably put her in a 17.5. And I agreed because that's what I think she needs right now. And then she asked me, where do you live? And so I told her where we lived. And she said, who's your trainer? Because she's familiar with the area. I told her what my trainer's name was. And she said, oh, I know her. And I said, oh, that's amazing. And then she just stopped talking. And then she asked me a few minutes later, well, what barn are you at? So then I told her the barn name. And then what she said next really threw me. We are talking a high-end saddle company. I was going to be, if I bought a saddle from this company, I would be paying probably between $5,000 and $8,000. And what she said to me after I told her my barn name was, maybe you should just go back to Debaku because they're familiar with you. You've already worked with them. All along, everything she said to me kept making me think, like, wait, is she trying to tell me that she doesn't want me to buy a saddle from here? And after she said that, I was like, wait, she is trying to tell me. She basically said, I'm sorry, but we don't want to sell you a saddle. And I don't know what she based that on. I don't know if she based it on, like, the name of the barn that we ride at, or if she like, what in the heck? I had already told her that we bought a Debaku saddle. I already explained that we bought a custom Debaku saddle for our older daughter. I don't know, like, I don't know. I was flabbergasted. In that moment, I felt really frustrated. I felt really angry. I felt like we were struggling so hard to find a saddle, and this lady was essentially, this salesperson was essentially telling me, I don't think you should buy this saddle. Go back to the other company that you already bought a saddle from. And I don't know why. We were kind. We were not, when we go into a store, yes, I have a video camera. I try and keep it completely secret that I'm a YouTuber. I don't go and brag. We are equal with every single person on this planet. We are not above or below because we're YouTubers. So I didn't even have my camera out. So I don't know why and where she came up with this. I don't know. It was so confusing to me and so frustrating. And so we left the store. And what I thought then was that either I'm going to be like, too bad for you. I'm going to buy a saddle from this company. I'm going to use a different sales clerk, which you can't use a different sales clerk because they all have areas. Or I'm just going to leave and go and get another saddle from another company, and she's going to miss out. And it was a really hard thing because it bothers me when people steal my power. She essentially stole my power, you guys. She stole a choice from me. She basically said, I'm not going to sell you a saddle. And it was really frustrating to me. But I put it behind me and we moved on because, you know what? I can't be responsible for other people's problems. I did nothing wrong in that situation, and she treated me badly, and there's nothing, like, I don't want to fight about it. I could have asked to speak to her manager. I could go to the company and the higher up, but in the end, whenever you complain, it always just comes back on you, and for me, it's just easier to push past it and keep going. Okay, so then we kept going, and this happened. So basically we went into another store, and it was not super high end. It was not super high end like the other two stores. It was like a medium kind of store, a little bit more expensive than like Greenhawk and other stores that we frequent. the entire store was actually really nice. It was just one sales clerk, and this is what happened. We went there, and it was amazing. They had really good deals, and they had like a higher end quality stuff. So I saw the breeches. They were on sale for $89, and if you bought a pair of breeches, you got a free belt. And I was like, oh my gosh, Sophie, you need breeches so badly, and I loved the breeches. I'm like, go and try these on. So I sent her into the change room with a pair of breeches, and she was trying them on. Gabby tried on boots, and we wanted the boots so badly. They were such nice boots, and they didn't have her size. The price was amazing. They didn't have her size, so she couldn't get them. So if you bought a pair of breeches, you could buy a belt. So I picked up, there's a big rack of a whole bunch of different belts. I took 2 off the shelf because there was only one white one, and I knew she was going to want white, but they had gray, and I wanted her to choose between the gray and the white, because in my mind, I was buying those breeches. The price was so good, and so we tried on the breeches and they didn't fit, so I took them back and hung them back up on the shelf, and I gave her the next size up. So while we were standing outside the change room waiting for her, this beautiful young associate came up to us. She was stunning. She was so stunning. Anyways, she came walking up to me, and she said, I'll take those. And she put her hand out for me to give her the belts. And I was like, at this point, I was already over the top with the attitude, with the equine. I am better than you. You can't have this attitude that I didn't even really believe. I've heard about it before, but I didn't really believe it, you guys. This is the belt. These were the belts. They're not like super high quality, but they're cute. And Sophie wanted one, and even Gabby wanted one. And so she put out her hand, and I, with an attitude like a school teacher reprimanding me, like, I'll take those. And I was looking in the change room at Sophie, and I was looking at her, and the place was filled with people. And I was like, well, wait, like, I want them. Like, but I was in that mode where I felt like I was being chastised, so I handed them to her. And then I watched her, and she walked over to the rack, and she was going to hang them back up. And then I came into myself, and I was like, well, wait, I want those. Like, why do I have to give them to her? I didn't understand. And so I went over to her, and I said, I'm worried if you put them back on the rack, then I won't get the one that I want. My daughter's trying on breeches, and I'm just waiting for her to choose one. And she said, and turned her head. And I was like, okay, like that. It was so outrightly rude and dismissive. I was in shock. So then I was fuming. Sophie was still trying on the pants. I was so fuming. I was so over the top, fed up with this whole attitude. I always try and find the place. I always try and find my part in every negative interaction that I have in life, because usually you do play a part. You do play a role. But honestly, I was just standing there with my daughter. I was not even trying to interact with this girl when she came over and made me give those to her. So I said, my next words to her were, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to find a manager. And she said, what is your problem? And then I was, is there a problem? And then I was so upset. I did everything that I don't believe in. I went over to the desk, and unfortunately, behind us was a bunch of fans that hadn't come, that were too shy to come up to see us and say hi to us. It happens a lot. They were like whispering and pointing at us, and I did this all in front of fans, you guys. This is not my finest moment. So I went up to the desk, and I asked to speak to a manager. And the 2 elder associates that were there, they weren't old, but they were these beautiful, amazing, kind, amazing women. And I told them what happened, and they said, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I think there was a miscommunication, which maybe there was. I don't feel that there was. And they said, here, I'm going to give you these 2 belts for free. And I said, no, I don't want the belts for free. It made me feel really awful that I was causing a scene. I felt bad causing a scene already. I didn't want them to give me belts. I didn't want it to be like, oh, I'm right and she's wrong. I wanted to express myself. I wanted to say, like, I don't know why this girl was treating me this way. And it never comes out well when you do that. So I don't know why I did it. But anyway, they did tell me, you know, that this girl has been working 12-hour days for this whole entire 2 weeks that the Royal Winter Fair is on, or week long, or 2 weeks I think it lasts for. And she's probably just really tired, and it was probably a miscommunication. And yeah, I understand, and I understand all that. I don't understand why she treated us like that. I honestly do not understand why she treated us like that. I don't think she knew who we were. I don't think it was, I don't know, but for whatever reason, she did not want me to hold on to those belts. She did not like us. She did not feel that I don't know why. She abused her power as a salesperson, if she even had power, and treated me terribly and belittled me. And the mistake that I made in that whole entire situation was complaining and expressing it, because that is your ego. That's your ego speaking. My ego was hurt. She hurt my ego. And I know better than to feed into my ego. I should have just left the store and let it pass. I sometimes like to ask myself, what would Jesus do? And Jesus would not have fought them. Anyway, Sophia came up to me at the counter, and the lady insisted on giving her a free belt. So this is her free belt. This belt, when I look at it, makes me feel bad, because I feel bad. So the moral of this story is that, one, fighting about things is always comes from the side of yourself that is your ego. It doesn't ever come from the side of yourself that puts other people first. Just because one person makes a mistake doesn't mean that you should jump on the bandwagon and make a mistake. I know a lot of you guys will say, you were just standing up for yourself. And yeah, the thing is that my self-esteem comes from a place where I love myself and understand myself and respect myself. And so I didn't need verification from somebody else that I was still okay, even though this girl tried to tell me that I wasn't. Some people in life, their self-esteem comes from belittling other people, trying to make other people feel like they're not as good as them. And those people, like this associate, get off on making you think that you're not worthy, and it makes them feel more superior. So me flying off the handle is only going to do one thing: make her feel even better about herself. And that is not what I wanted to do either. So basically, that's the point of this story, is that there is a hidden underbelly of the equine community. And it's not necessarily just the high-end riders or the high-end stores or the high-end tack. Everybody deserves the right to shop whatever brand they want. Nobody gets to define who you are, what you're allowed to buy, and how worthy you are in life. And so that is why I shared this story. I wanted to tell you guys that I battled the underbelly of the equine community, and I lost, and I failed because I did complain. In the end, I let my ego get too far ahead of me, and the only thing that I can do in a situation like that is to forgive myself and know that even though I reacted in a way that I don't feel proud of, I am just going to move on and forgive myself and remember for next time, and hope that next time that I encounter prejudice like this, that I will act more appropriately and act better. Because when you step above people who act like that, you only win for yourself. Anyway, that is it. That is my story. I want to know in the comments below, have you ever experienced this underside, this prejudice, this judgment from the equine community? I know a lot of you guys have, because I've heard stories. It is new for me. I want to hear your stories in the comments below. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know I promised you my adoption story, my story, coming soon, you guys, so stay tuned.